Kogo News Time, 5:12.
Well, it's one thing. You go in the hospital and you have a health issue, but now you have another thing to worry about. Hackers hijacking medical devices and creating backdoors in hospital networks.
Sounds scary. Joining us on the Kogo News Live line is data security analyst Ashley Cook. And Ashley, first of all, how do they do this?
Well, there's a number of different ways. And, you know, when the medical equipment has an IP address, or when the hospital just doesn't have a secure network or they don't have their firewalls, then it's quite easy for someone to breach the security and break into the network, whether it be through malware or other methods. So it's something that, you know, you see in every industry. It's a potential for problem for individuals, but on a larger scale, obviously corporations and hospitals for sure.
Now, one of the things that we mentioned there is hijacking medical devices. I mean, are we talking about, you know, the machines that give you, for instance, my mom got knee surgery and they had her on a machine that had a morphine pump on it. Is that the kind of machine they can go after?
Yeah, you know, it is. It's funny that when Vice President Cheney had a pacemaker, they actually took out the wireless capabilities just for that purpose. And so, yes, you know, hijacking medical devices, but I think where we're really seeing it now is in the sense of stealing data and information, because, you know, today data is as valuable as money. Right, and so I think that's why we're seeing 150% increase since 2010 in security breaches at hospitals.
So specifically, what kind of information are they looking for and getting?
Well, you know, you think about it. You've got information, name, date of birth, social security number, and so I mean that's extremely valuable. And we also have people's health records. But I think that anytime we have in our industry, in the mortgage industry, real estate industry, you know, we have an obligation as a settlement service provider to protect the consumer's NPI, non-public personal information, and the medical industry, you know, they have to protect the non-public personal information, but also the health personal information. So they're getting records of health ailments, but also, again, going back to the social security numbers and names and account numbers. So,
you know, as a patient, how do you, you know, you go to the hospital, you're getting surgery, about the last thing you're thinking of is, ooh, my identity's at risk. So what are you supposed to do?
You know, I think what's going to happen is that if the industry doesn't increase their security in a non-negligent way, that I think that, you know, the federal government would probably start enforcing and penalizing those hospitals that have data breaches and weren't taking the proper measures to protect the information. I think it's going to be important for not only hospitals, but any large corporation to not only make sure that their IT infrastructure is secure and sound, but also make sure that they're training their employees. You know, malware is something that is installed on your device or a computer, and it's largely that the cyber criminals take advantage of our own gullibility, whether it be a phishing email that says our account's been compromised, please enter your personal information, or worse, you know, when you go online and you see a funny picture and someone clicks on that, and that installs the malware into the system. So I think we have to do both. We have to invest money into both the infrastructure and maintaining security, but also in the educating the employees.
All right, thank you so much. That's data security analyst Ashley Cook joining us on the Kogo News Live line.